Welcome to the 2019 Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. I'm Pirates President Frank Coonley. Baseball teaches our young people so many great things like teamwork, sportsmanship, and discipline, all values that will serve them well in their lives away from the diamond. The Pirates are focused on encouraging young people in our region to play baseball and softball and then to pass on their love for the game to their own kids, just like my parents did for me. The Pony League provides kids across the country and the globe with the opportunity to play our national pastime at a high level. The Pirates are proud to support the very highest level of Pony League competition that is played here in our region at the Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. On behalf of the Pirates organization, good luck to all the teams that have made it to Washington County. We hope that everyone enjoys the fun and excitement of the 2019 Pony League World Series.
Greetings and welcome to Lou Hayes Pony Field in Washington, Pennsylvania. This is day 4 of the Pony League World Series as we're beginning to whittle the field down in preparation of setting the field for Thursday's championship. We have 4 games on the schedule today, and some elimination games will begin to thin out the field a little bit before the end of the day. For the opening lineups, we head upstairs to Bob Gregg.
And Arecibo, Puerto Rico. By coin flip, Guasave is the visiting team. Let's meet the Mexico champions. Leading off, the shortstop, number 27, Johan Lopez. Pitching and batting second, number 35, Jose Alvarez. Batting third, the third baseman, number 9, Santiago Lopez. Batting fourth and catching, number 7, Luis Liera. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 63, Ezequiel Perez. Batting sixth, playing second base, number 30, Carlos Baez. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 14, Cesar Rendon. Batting eighth and playing first base, number 15, Luis Gonzalez. Batting ninth and playing right field, number 44, Ronnie Ramos. Number 2, Luis Gomez. Number 6, Edwin Cervantes. Number 10, Omar Terraza. Number 12, Alexis Lopez. Coach, Omar Baez. Coach, Eduardo Gomez. Manager, Jose Maria Pardini. Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico. And now for your Caribbean champions, Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Leading off and playing second base, number 6, Joshua Chaparro. Batting second, the shortstop, number 2, Yenzel Figueroa. Batting third and playing third base, number 99, Adrian Salas. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 17, Yoani Os Santos. Batting fifth and catching, number 24, Samuel Cruz. Batting sixth, pitching, number 19, Joel Corre. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 15, Victor Rivera. Batting eighth and playing center field, number 27, Derek Trinidad. Batting ninth and playing right field, number 4, Yasiel Arocho. Number 1, Jeremy Rivera. Number 7, Jensen Arazo. Number 21, Marcus Arocho. Number 22, Victor Ysapero. Number 25, Julian Ramirez. Number 33, Victor Asapero. Coach, Angel Perez. Business manager, Luis Vera. And the manager, Victor Sapero. Arecibo, Puerto Rico, your Caribbean champions. Umpiring at home plate, Joe Dodaro. At first base, Fred Moots. At second base, Garrett Weary. At third base, Adam Caldwell. Decisions Committee, Terry Faust, Tom O'Connor, Rick Melton.
At this time, we ask that you all rise for the Pony Prayer and our national anthems. Gentlemen and boys, please remove your hats. Thank you to all veterans and active duty members of the United States Armed Forces for your service. We invite you to render a hand salute during the Star-Spangled Banner. Almighty God, help us to realize that we are gathered here to watch young people play baseball, not to second-guess strategy, dispute decisions, or questionability. That we are here to cheer, to encourage and to join in the fun that is baseball, not to jeer, discourage, or otherwise degrade the game. That while officials and players are expected to perform within the bounds of certain standards, we also, as spectators, are expected to conduct ourselves within the bounds of good sportsmanship. May this contest end without injury, without feelings of ill will, without disgrace, but as an activity worthy of thy blessing. Amen.
What a glorious Monday morning for Pony Baseball, sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. Thank you for joining us. Randy Gore is alongside, as he has been much of the last 4 days. Doing all right, partner?
Yeah, pretty good. We get to know each other pretty well over the course of this week, right?
Yeah, indeed we do. The dimensions of this ballpark, let me first of all tell you that the distance between the bases is 80 feet. From the pitching rubber to home plate, it's 54 feet. 250 down the lines, 285 to the power alleys, 305 feet to straightaway center field, and a fence that's about 15, 16 feet high. Well, we do indeed, for a fourth consecutive day, have perfect weather. On our way to the championship game under a full moon Thursday night, 7 o'clock. That game will be on AT&T Sports. Of course, all the coverage, including, in addition to the WJPA broadcast, the video stream on MLB.com. Or you can also go to PonyWorldSeries.org. The starting lineup for Mexico. Heard Bob Gregg give it to you. Johan Lopez, Alvarez the pitcher, Santiago Lopez, Liera the catcher, Perez in center, Baez at second, Rendon in left, Gonzalez at first, Ramos in right field. Defensively for Puerto Rico, Victor Rivera in left field, Trinidad in center, Arocho in right, Salas at third, Figueroa the shortstop, Chaparro at second base, Santos at first, with Cruz catching, Joel Correa. The home teams of these Pony League World Series games determined before the tournament started. That is, the committee sits down with the brackets, flips coins. We know already that the championship game will feature a home team from the lower part of the bracket, still alive. Bottom of the bracket, Bay County, Washington, Simi Valley, Brownsville. Alive, top of the bracket, Chinese Taipei, Youngstown, Arecibo, and Guasave. Two teams eliminated yesterday, Hagerstown and London. Throw to second base, and we are ready to go. That's Scott Bartlett, who's giving us the close-up shot of Johan Lopez. Scott Bartlett is normally our director, but they've decided that they change a couple of positions this morning. So Scott's on the field, and Chewy who's been our first base camera person, is directing. Roger Leonhardt, our producer, and here we go. Correa, the first pitch of the game, and a called strike, and so we start baseball on this Monday morning, August 12th at 10:12. Correa, one strike pitch is down low. Jose Bartini is the manager and third base coach for Guasave. Pardini, the coach at third. Give you the first base coach in a moment. Ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. Eduardo Gomez on the first base side. 2-1, says Joe Dodero, our home plate umpire. And it's down low. Well, it's going to be a full day. We probably won't be checking out of this ballpark until maybe 11 o'clock tonight. Then we'll be right back here about 8:30 tomorrow morning, getting ready for the 10 o'clock game tomorrow. But we love it. It is a truly wonderful affair. Listening to Pete Povich and Bruce Sokolic this morning talking about the Pony League World Series. Called strike, full count on Lopez. Didn't realize that Bruce was saying that he was at the Pony League World Series this weekend with his son, which he had stopped by to say hello.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't come by, did he? When
No,
you were here?
he did not.
Thought maybe I checked out. He snuck in to say hi while I wasn't here. 3-2 pitch, ball 4. So the game starts with a base on balls. Guasave, 1 win, 1 loss so far, scoring only 3 runs and 7 hits in 2 games. And Alvarez has 3 of the 7 hits. Jose Alvarez, the pitcher for today's ball game, with Joel Correa on the mound. Remember, the pitch maximum is 95. And if you check the score bug up in the left-hand corner, you'll see not only the score and the inning and number of outs count, but also the speed of the pitches, 72 miles per hour there, and 7 pitches thrown so far. Danny Woods is handling the score bug. Bunted up to the top of the screen, so Corey is out in front of Alvarez, his mound opponent. No balls, 2 strikes. Did the team from Mexico really want to make the trip to Washington? Yes, they did. They were willing to spend some 60 hours in a bus to get here. 0-2 pitch, called strike 3. First out of the game. Third baseman, right-handed batter Santiago Lopez. Runner at first, 1 out in the top of the first inning. Called strike. Mexico, they didn't make the trip by airfare. It wasn't a case where they made a direct flight to Pittsburgh and then to Washington. It was an extended bus ride. No balls, 2 strikes. Randy and I, we've been broadcasting earlier in our careers. Randy, of course, was the voice of the Wild Things for a number of years, and so he had some extended bus trips in the Frontier League. I certainly did when I was announcing for the Charleston Charlies in the International League. Ground ball. Second baseman Chaparro with the throw to the shortstop Figueroa. And we've got the second out of the ballgame. Looked like initially Chaparro took a step the other way, that is to his right, and he needed to regroup to his left. 2 outs, a man on. No score, top of the first inning, Guasave, Mexico. And Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Now the catcher, Luis Liera. Strike called to him. And the traditional right-hand indicator from the home plate umpire that's a strike. Oh, 1 pitch. A foul ball between first base and the coaching box. And so for the second time in this game, and this is the 4th batter of the ball game, second time that Correa has been out in front of a hitter, no balls, 2 strikes. Out in front of Alvarez, no balls, 2 strikes, and struck him out. Now 0-2 on Liera, the Guasave catcher. Right-hander Corey looks in for the sign. And comes set, runner going from first, swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. Guasave, Mexico, no runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. It is Mexico, nothing, and Puerto Rico coming to bat.
Unfortunately, we've gotten some bad news.
To whom?
What are we playing to this time?
How about a game of MVP?
415 to right field.
Right field with the Kirk Gibson trot. Seat 15.
That's an M.
Dodger dogs all day.
Woo! Extra kraut, please. Foul pull.
That looks like a V.
All tied up. Looks like I win MVP again.
Let's run it back.
Coming up in our doubleheader tonight, presented by Pathways in Southwestern Pennsylvania, HotelPlanner.com, and Pikewood Sports. It's West Virginia night at our winter bracket games. We'll feature Chinese Taipei against Youngstown in the opener, followed by Simi Valley, followed by Bay County, Michigan.
On the mound for Mexico.
During our first game, our 50-50 drawing tonight will include a $250
Alvarez, a right-hander. And Puerto Rico with Chaparro leading off, Figueroa second, Salas third, Santos batting fourth, catcher Cruz hitting fifth, pitcher Correa hitting sixth, Victor Rivera batting seventh. In left field, Trinidad in center, and then Arocho in right. We were talking about the long trip that Mexico made, the bus trip 60 hours. I did have, in my time in Charleston, we had a trip, we had to go from, oh, well, I'll get to that in a moment. I forgot the defense. Rendon, Perez, Ramos, left to center. Santiago Lopez at third, Lohan Lopez at short, Baez at second, Gonzalez at first, Liera catching Alvarez. We had to make a trip from Charleston, West Virginia to Pawtucket, or from Charleston, West Virginia to Toledo, Ohio. I made a day trip, left in the morning, got to the ballpark, played one makeup game, got back on the bus, and traveled from Toledo, Ohio to Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And because we didn't want to pay for an extra bus driver, we had to go into every major city to get a new bus driver. So we had stops in Cleveland and Buffalo and Syracuse and Albany, and we got to the ballpark in Pawtucket, Rhode Island just a little bit before the start of the game. Here's the 1974 Charleston Charlies, my famous red coat, called strike on Chaparro. That is Jimmy Campanis, two players to my right. Al Campanis' son. Al, for many years, was the general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Pitch up high on Chaparro, count 1-2. That bus trip by in 74, and in that picture, by the way, is Steve Blass. Steve Blass was down in Charleston that year trying to get his control problems worked out. 1-2 pitch, low and outside. Steve pitched the game in Toledo, lasted only about 2 innings. Steve never took his uniform off. He wore his uniform all the way from Toledo, Ohio to Pawtucket, Rhode Island. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short to Johan Lopez. And one away. Bottom of the first. Steve Blass is third from the left. That's Steve Demeter, Jim Sadowski going from left to right, bottom row. And the third from the left, Steve Blass, wearing number 18, not 28. Yenzel Figueroa, the batter, left-handed batter. By the way, I apologize to those of you that are listening to WJPA. We have video stream, and the truck has come up with a picture of our 1974 Charleston team. That's what we've been showing those folks that are able to catch the video stream. And the count is 0-2 on Figueroa. Alvarez, right-handed pitcher, no score, bottom of the first. And the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. A pitch that had some bend to it. 2 outs in the first. That brings up number 99, Adrian Salas. So Puerto Rico won 11-9 on Friday, lost 14-0 on Saturday. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the first. Called strike. Again, I apologize to those of you, like some fans of the Pony League World Series driving down Mertland Avenue and yelling at the radio, Lanahan, we can't see this picture you're talking about. Called strike 2. Looks like Alvarez is zoned in. Got a ground ball and a strikeout. Now he's 0-2. See if he can get it done with 11 pitches. 0-2 pitch. Nope, outside 1-2. Alvarez doesn't give you that normal full windup approach, and it's kind of a hybrid between full windup and stretch delivery. He works on the first base side of the rubber. time called, and now Alvarez has some concern. I thought he saw him pointing to his eyes. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I know, but it's only opinion.
Yeah, okay. There's nothing we can do with that.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
1-2, push.
1-2 pitch. Way upstairs. Just after I said he was zoned in, he's missed with the last 2 pitches. And the 2-2 pitch. Low and outside from 0-2 to 3-2. The delivery by Alvarez, working off that first base side of the rubber, lifts that left leg, and there's a bit of a hesitation in his delivery. 3-2 pitch. Popped off to the right, now to play. Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series from Lou Hayes Pony Field. We are fortified for a full day. We've had our Dunkin' Donuts. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. So Salas gets away. He was in the hole, but draws the walk. And that pitch that was above the strike zone, we were talking a moment ago about Alvarez trying to finish off this bottom of the first in 11 pitches. He has now thrown 15. The limit's 95. Santos, the batter, first baseman, stands very close to home plate. Catcher Liera sets up outside, and it's ball 1. The toes of this right-handed batter almost on the chalk line, the inside chalk line nearest to home plate. Ball 1. Strike outside corner, 1-1. Boy, you'd love to, when you see a guy that's close to home plate, you'd like to challenge him in, but you know that if you don't get it in, he's going to rocket it over the wall. Runner at first, 2 outs, no score first inning, Mexico and Puerto Rico. So the count is 2-1. These pitches, all 3 of them have been away. That's one of the responsibilities of the catcher, is to be paying attention to the position of the batter in the batter's box. Breaking ball away. So 4 pitches all outside. And now Santos, 3-1. He can be thinking fastball, and if he gets it, take a hack at it. 3-1, 1 on, 2 outs, no score. First inning, Mexico and Puerto Rico. Yeah, he got the fastball a little bit away and fouls it off to the right. He had a pretty good rip at it. There's a lot of things about baseball that can be somewhat tough to understand. Then there's a lot of things about the game that are just downright basic. Runner at first set to go with 2 outs, and the count 3-2 on Santos. Runner goes, payoff pitch, called strike 3. He threw him 5 pitches away and then came with a curveball inside. No runs, no hits, a walk, and 1 left on base. And at the end of 1, Puerto Rico 1, Puerto Rico nothing, Mexico nothing.
There's a place far from the city, yet just down the road, where likes and shares mean more. It's in every bite, each performance, and every night, where the miles we ride together become the memories we share forever. We dream because they fought for it. We give because they worked for it. The American spirit lives here. I can feel it.
Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. Sponsored in part by the Observer reporter Joe Schmelzer is covering the game here for the OR. So Puerto Rico beat Hagerstown and then lost to Chinese Taipei 14-0. Mexico with a loss to Youngstown and then the win over Hagerstown. And for the top of the second inning, Ezequiel Perez, left-handed batter, foul ball off to the left. Randy made a great point in between innings about that breaking ball to Santos. He was not expecting, that's what Randy said, he's right about that, wasn't expecting the curveball in after 5 pitches all the way. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Dodaro, the home plate umpire. Joe is from Cecil, Pennsylvania. He's a teacher. Pitch low and inside. This crew will also be covering the second game that we have today.
2-1.
And Fred Moots, who is at first base right now, will move to call balls and strikes in the next game. Ball fouled away. Fred is from Boardman, Ohio, and he is a corrections officer, which is really what umpires are. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes, no score, second inning. Guasave, Mexico, and that is Cibo, Puerto Rico. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Corey. 1 out in the second. Got Adam Caldwell at second base. There's a pretty good fastball that was run up there to strike out Perez. And that'll bring up Carlos Baez. Adam Caldwell, who is from Washington, Pennsylvania. And he works for a closed caption company. Now Carlos Baez. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Third base umpire is Garrett Weary from Poland, Ohio, police officer in Struthers, Ohio. Ball fouled back. Chance to visit with the umpires up in their luxury suite. You ever been up to that umpire's room?
I have.
About as big as what, a typical powder room?
Yeah, something like that.
Fastball high and inside.
Yeah, luxury suite was an interesting choice of description there. But nonetheless, it fits the bill.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Baez. Swing and a foul tip. Corey has struck out 4 of the first 6 batters. What's interesting about what's transpired early, it's like Mexico is getting a little bit of its own medicine. Mexico struck out 25 batters. The pitching staff struck out 25 batters in 14 innings in the first 2 games. Cesar Rendon, right-handed batter, open stance. Pitch low and outside, Rendon, the left fielder. The winner of this game will play the loser of the game between Chinese Taipei and Youngstown to be played at 5:30 today. Fastball up, 74 miles per hour, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The winner will play tomorrow at 10 a.m. The loser will, the players on the losing team will pack their bags. Pitch behind the batter, and the count is 2 balls, 1 strike. There have been only 7 home runs hit in the first 8 games of this tournament, and there were no home runs hit yesterday. Here's the 2-1 pitch. swing and a miss. You know, I didn't realize that until Spencer and I, my grandson and I, were sitting on the back porch last night after the games with Suzanne, and Spencer mentioned it to me. I just hadn't realized that was the case. No home runs yesterday. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Catcher Cruz stood up. The pitch was a slider breaking ball away, and so Correa has 5 strikeouts, striking out the side of the top of the second inning. Middle of the second, Puerto Rico and Mexico no score.
We've been in your community since 1808. We've stood by your side covering the news of the day. We've been here for the important times in your life. We've celebrated with you. We're proud to have delivered the latest in local, regional, and national news in Washington, Greene, and southern Allegheny counties. We'll be here for the next phase of your life with our print and online editions. The Observer Reporter, life delivered daily.
Hey, Bill, that's great you give us that 60-30. That's really good for us. Thank you. Thank you. Bottom of the second inning coming up at the Pony League World Series. Mexico and Puerto Rico scoreless. Edwin Cervantes pitched yesterday for Mexico. He worked 6 2/3 innings. He did not complete the game because he got to his pitch limit, but he struck out 11 batters. So this left-hander Cervantes, he was not tilting at windmills. He was throwing strikes. And so far in this tournament, including the 2 strikeouts recorded by Alvarez in the bottom of the first, Mexican pitchers 27 strikeouts in 15 innings. Bottom of the second, Samuel Cruz is the batter. First name spelled like Samuel. Strike called outside corner. Remember, Philadelphia Phillies second baseman Juan Samuel. My second favorite team in the major leagues, the Philadelphia Phillies. Always had a lot of fun when I would go to Philadelphia. Pitch outside. Back in the early stages of my career in the National League East, you would play all the teams in the National League East. 18 games, 9 on the road, 9 at home. 1-1 pitch. Fly ball to center. Coming on and making the catch knee high is Perez. Now pitcher Joel Correa. No score, bottom of the second. Send out our best wishes to Mark Uriah, the voice of the Pony League World Series. Not with us for this year's competition, but thinking about Mark. 3 for 5 for Correa with a home run. Breaking ball outside, ball 1. I mentioned there have been just 7 home runs in this tournament. I think 3 of the 7 have been hit by Chinese Taipei players. That is correct. 1-ball pitch. Fastball outside edge of the plate, 1-1.
And 2 of them have been hit by Puerto Rican players, one of which The guy at the plate, Joel Corey.
1-1 pitch. Breaking ball a bit outside. Victor Saparo Sr., the third base coach. He's in the medical field. 2-1 pitch. And it's outside. The manager of this Puerto Rican team is with a company that makes pacemakers. Count 3-1. Foul ball out of play. We were talking earlier about the fact that we've made some changes, I guess some necessary, some just for the fun of it, with Scott Bartlett, who normally directs our video. He's working the handheld camera, and Chewy, who's the first base camera person, is directing in the truck alongside Roger Lenhart. 3-2 pitch, bouncer up the middle, and we've got the first hit of the game coming with one out of the bottom of the second inning. No score in the bottom of number 2. Ball just to the right of pitcher Alvarez. Victor Y. Rivera steps in. Dan Lohman, who's our executive producer, he's up in the catbird seat. He's on top of this building, running high home. Ball hit in the air to left field. Rendon's got it. 2 outs. Dan Lohman, our executive producer, learned the other day that he had won an Emmy for his nostalgic documentary on Hot Rod Hundley. There's Dan Lohman. Son Ben is working the third base camera. Danny Corso is out in center field. He's normally the guy that runs the handheld camera. Bouncer to the mound, bobbled a couple of times. Alvarez goes halfway to first. Flip of the ball. Puerto Rico, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left on base. At the end of 2, Mexico nothing, Puerto Rico nothing. They play in all corners of the world. Boys and girls each learning the true value that only teamwork, competition, and sportsmanship can provide. Each year, more than 500,000 participants of all ages proudly represent Pony on baseball and softball diamonds of all sizes. Everyone deserves a chance to learn and play the game. They're our players today. They'll be our leaders in the future. Pony, making a difference in your neighborhood and all over our world. Bottom of the third, we were talking about our TV crew. Sarah Bartlett, who is the daughter of Scott Bartlett. She's working low first. The first 2 innings, Joel Corey with 5 strikeouts, 2 in the first and 2 in the second. First strikeout was called third strike. The 5th strikeout thrown by or recorded by Corey was against Rendon. Now we go to the top of the third and ready to call the action. Here's Randy Gore.
Thank you so much, Lanny. As Luis Gonzalez leads off the top of the third inning for Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico. Joel Corey, 29 pitches, 20 for strikes. The starting pitcher for Arecibo, Puerto Rico. And Lanny noted the 5 strikeouts. So 6 putouts so far by Puerto Rico and 5 of them Ks, all belonging to Corey. So as Lanny put it, it's Mexico receiving a taste of its own medicine in terms of strikeouts by a pitcher, as Mexico has been dominant in that fashion. But today, it's Corey. First pitch, foul ball off the bat of Gonzalez for strike one. Mexico without a hit thus far. Arecibo, Puerto Rico with just one hit, that coming during the last half inning, courtesy of Corey, but no runs for either side overall. Gonzalez 0 for 2 in the Pony League World Series. This is the third game for each team in an elimination game. 0-1. Fastball from Corey is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mexico making its third appearance in the Pony League World Series, second in the last 2 years, that being Guasave Sinaloa, Mexico. 1-1 swing and a miss, strike 2. Arecibo, this is its first Pony League World Series appearance, 41st overall for Puerto Rico. Wide of the 1-2. Breaking ball, line to third. It's off the glove of Salas. He picks it back up. Throw to first is not in time. A hard liner to by Gonzalez to Salas, but he drops it, and it's an E5 to lead off the third. Granted, it was hit hard, but it was also hit right to Salas, and it was into and out of his mitt. We'll see if that sparks the Mexico offense. Well, the pitching has been dominant for Mexico. Offensively, not a whole lot to speak of. Shut out by Youngstown 6-0 in the opener on Friday night. But Mexico winning yesterday 3-0 in an elimination game with Hagerstown. Bunt attempt fouled back to the screen by Ronnie Ramos, strike 1. So Mexico trying to advance the runner. Third baseman Salas charging in. Shortstop Yenzel Figueroa ready to cover the third base bag. And second baseman Chaparro moving towards second. See what we have on the 0-1 pitch from Corey. Bunt stabbed at, but again fouled off by Ramos behind home plate, 0-2. Scoreless contest in the top of the third. Gonzalez at first. Ramos, 5'6", 136-pounder, right-handed hitter. On the 0-2, fouls it away. That time swinging away as he would be with 2 strikes. Just the second at bat of the tournament for Ramos. As Jose Pardini out at the third base coaching area for signs for his batter and runner. Corey from the stretch brings the 0-2. Fastball is low. With 5 punch-outs already in this game, in position for another. 37 pitches thrown thus far for Corey. One-two, low and outside in the dirt, blocked by Cruz, the catcher for Puerto Rico. Count evens at 2-2. Guasave Sinaloa yesterday with that 3-0 win over Hagerstown. Edwin Cervantes, 6 2/3, giving up only 2 hits with 11 strikeouts. 2-2 pitch, fastball called, strike 3. There's 6 strikeouts now for Corey, 1 out in the top of the third. Johan Lopez, the next hitter. He walked in the first inning. Lopez, who has primarily been the shortstop, although he did come in for the final out in yesterday's game because of pitch count. Cervantes had to check out after 6 2/3. Lays down a bunt, does Lopez, fielded by the catcher Cruz, and he does not field it cleanly. And another error, an E2 this time, that allows Lopez to reach. Will be a sacrifice in error. Gonzalez to second, 2 aboard for Guasave Sinaloa, Mexico. So no hits permitted by Corey, but Mexico in business in this top of the third after 2 errors. Jose Alvarez struck out looking in the first. The first strikeout victim of the day by Corey. And now we have time as a visit from the Puerto Rico coaching staff. Victor Cepero Sr., the skipper for Arecibo, Puerto Rico. And right now, this situation, probably to remind Corey, number one, you've been pitching well. Just try to pick up the defense behind you, and same thing defensively here. You've made a couple of miscues, but you're still in position where you can get out of this inning without any damage. You've got runners at first and second with one out.
That's a great point, Randy. The pitcher wants strong defense behind him, but there are those times when your defense lets you down, and yet if you come back and you will get the outs and take your defensive players off the hook.
That works both ways. Sometimes the defense helps you. Sometimes you can help your D. So quick cleaning of the cleats for Joel Corey on the back of the pitcher's mound, now ready to go as he reviews the signs from Samuel Cruz. Swinging away, weak ground ball back to the pitcher Corey. He'll throw to second, but the throw is high, and everybody is safe. Alvarez safe at first, Lopez to second, Gonzalez to third. Bases are loaded with one out.
What happened there is the pitcher Corey, he was off balance when he fielded the ball. He had time. He was not going to get a double play, so he should have set himself better and thrown to second base. But he tried to throw after being a bit off balance, and that cost him.
Third error of the inning. Santiago Lopez 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice of the first. Bases loaded, one out. In a scoreless game, foul ball out of play. Lopez yesterday was 1 for 3 with an RBI in that 3-0 win against Hagerstown. Has a chance to drive in a run here. Key point in this game, early going in the third. Bases loaded. Fastball is strike. Now 0-2. 3 errors in this inning. Oh-2 pitch. Fastball low. E5 put Gonzalez aboard. Sacrifice E2 for Johan Lopez. E1 allowing Alvarez to reach. One out, bases loaded, top of the third, scoreless. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. So there, Corey comes through. Back to what has worked so well for him, the strikeout. 7 punch-outs now. And that a big strikeout because it keeps the bases loaded, eliminates a sacrifice fly possibility for Mexico. Luis Liera, 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the first. Liera yesterday was 1 for 4 with an RBI in the victory against Hagerstown. Goes after the first pitch, fouls it top of the fencing in front of the first base bleacher seats. Going to be a hot one today. Expected to be in the mid to upper 80s in Washington, but sunny skies, clear skies above Lou Hayes Pony Field. First game of the day, game 9 of the tournament. Bases loaded for Mexico. 2 outs, top of the third. 0-1, swing and a miss on a good fastball. High fastball from Corey. He's out in front again, 0-2. Some of the folks that have made that 64-hour bus trip chanting Mexico on the third base bleacher side. With the bases loaded for Mexico and 2 outs, but an 0-2 count on Liera. Pitch on its way, swing and a miss. First strike, 3 inning over. So Corey strikes out 3 to pitch his way out of a bases loaded jam. 3 errors, 3 left on, no runs across. We head to the bottom of the third. It's Mexico nothing, Puerto Rico nothing.
Kick off the fall season at the EQT Washington and Greene County's Covered Bridge Festival, September 21st and 22nd. Explore 10 different scenic covered bridge locations and an array of activities from craft and food vendors, historical reenactments, entertainment, and more. Break away from the everyday. Take a deep breath and dream here. Unplug, unwind, and just be here. Plan your trip today at visitwashingtoncountypa.com. The American spirit lives here.
Mexico nothing, Puerto Rico nothing as we head to the bottom of the third here at the Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. Puerto Rico, 1,707 miles away from Washington, Pennsylvania. Talked about the lengthy trip for the team from Mexico. Quite a lengthy trip as well for Arecibo, Puerto Rico, here to Western Pennsylvania. Both teams trying to survive here in this elimination game. Two teams eliminated yesterday, Hagerstown by Guasave Sinaloa, and London, UK, eliminated by Brownsville, Texas. Glad to have you along on 1450 AM WJPA in Washington. His first pitch, swinging foul ball by Yasiel Arocho, strike one. Also great to have you with us via video stream, MLB.com, PonyLeagueWorldSeries.org. With all the video coverage, 0-1 pitch. Popped out of play again by Arocho, 0-2. Jose Alvarez, the starting pitcher today for Mexico. He struck out a pair and permitted only one hit and one walk. Two scoreless innings so far for him. Mexico starters have been fantastic in the tournament. 0-2, curveball, little flare behind the second base bag, caught by the shortstop Lopez. One out in the bottom of the third. And we've seen some different strategies pitching-wise by teams in terms of pitch count, trying to save pitchers. Mexico has had the philosophy, your starter, take the ball and roll with it. They have gone deep in every start. Edwin Cervantes yesterday, Ezequiel Perez in the opener. He was a hard luck loser. He struck out 13 in his start against Youngstown, Ohio. Fastball strike to Joshua Chaparro, who's 0 for 1. He grounded out in the first inning. 0-0 game, bottom of the third. One out, bases empty for Puerto Rico. Chaparro on the 0-1, skies it to right. In a few steps, Ramos now backs up a couple, and to his left makes the leaning catch. 2 outs. Alvarez picking up where his fellow teammates left off, and the only difference between what Alvarez has done, he's been a little more diplomatic, allowing his teammates to participate in the outs. Not as many strikeouts, but the outs have come. Yenzel Figueroa, he was struck out in the first. Left-handed hitter. Offering from Jose Alvarez, swing and a miss. Puerto Rico winning the Caribbean Championship Tournament, the Caribbean Zone, in early July. Went 4-2 in tournament play. Started 0-2 in pool play, but rallied with 4 straight wins to claim the zone title. Next pitch from Alvarez out of the zone for a ball. 1-1 strike. And Puerto Rico winning the zone title with an 8-7 victory over Panama on July 7th in Aruba. 1-1 from Alvarez. Ground ball pulled foul on the first base side. 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the third. 0-0 between Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico, and Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Our home plate umpire Joe Dodero settling some things near one of the dugouts. 1-2 pitch. Foul ball on the left field side. That actually gets into the third base bleacher seats. Mexico 0, Puerto Rico 0.
The Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, by the Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency, and by the Observer Publishing Company.
Rico Wireless, the official wireless provider of the Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. If there's a home run hit in this game, show your game ticket at the Washington or Cricket Store tomorrow.
Sunday scores presented by Printscape in Game 6, Washington County. Mercy ruling Simi Valley, California, 11-1. Game 7, it was Mexico over Hagerstown, Maryland, 3-0. And then Brownsville, Texas, 12-2 in 6 innings against London, UK. That was yesterday's action here at the Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. We're in the top of the 4th here, scoreless between Mexico and Puerto Rico. Ezequiel Perez accepts a fastball low from Joel Corre, ball 1. Corre with 8 strikeouts. Had to wiggle out of a bases-loaded jam in the 3rd after 3 errors in the inning by his defense, and one of those was an error on Corre, but pitched out of that jam. 1-0, line drive into left field off the bat of Perez, but a running catch toward the line made by Victor Rivera. 1 away in the top of the 4th. Ball hit on the button by Ezequiel Perez, but Rivera had a good read on it and reels in the inning's first out. Up next, Carlos Baez, who struck out in the 2nd. In fact, Corre rather, struck out the side in the 2nd inning. Ball popped up, first base side. Is there enough room for Santos? There is. Just inches away from the fencing, and foul ground makes the catch. Quickly 2 up, 2 down here at the top of the 4th. Nothing, top of the 4th, Cesar Rendon, 0 for 1. Pitch from the right-hander, Corre. Little fister and lofted toward 3rd. Leaping catch made by Salas to end the inning. A very efficient 1-2-3, top of the 4th. We head to the bottom half. It's Mexico 0, Puerto Rico 0.
Make a Dunkin' run for a $2 pick-me-up and avoid the afternoon drag.
Should have got one for John.
Yeah. Sorry, John. It's okay.
Come in for a $2 medium latte or cappuccino from 2 to 6 p.m. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hi, I'm Dylan Radigan. The world is brimming with possibilities. And that keeps me busy. My latest invention may be able to feed and sustain communities around the world. My team and I are always on the go, meeting new people and seeing new places. I produce films that I really care about. It's an honor to speak to audiences around the world. When people come together, meaningful work gets done. How do I do all this? Well, that part's easy. Hotelplanner.com.
Mi padre me enseñó este juego y mi hermana me inspiró a conquistarlo. Pero mientras desarrollaba mis habilidades, yo definía mi estilo. Le daba homenaje a mi casa, yo encontré mi voz, en medio de la magia del juego. They call me El Mago, the magician. Call me what you want. I just want to play.
Puerto Rico to bat at the bottom of the fourth. Scoreless game between Arecibo, Puerto Rico, and Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico. Good pitching so far. Only one hit by the two teams combined. As Adrian Salas, Yoani El Santos, and Samuel Cruz all to bat in this bottom of the fourth. Some fans trying to stay cool in the shade here on a hot Monday morning in Washington, Pennsylvania. Salas to start off the bottom of the fourth. Jose Alvarez, right-hander, kicks and delivers. And a ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Just the second hit for both teams, and both hits belong to Puerto Rico. A leadoff single for Salas. We'll see if that gets something going here for Puerto Rico. Sparks the lineup. Yoani El Santos 0 for 1, struck out looking in the first.
Santos in the fourth spot of the order, so you wouldn't expect a bunt here.
And he is swinging away. Ground ball, two-hopper to third. Santiago Lopez fields, throw to second out there, on to first, not in time. So lead runner erased. 5-4 on the putout. Fielder's choice as Santos beats out the play at first base.
Now, Santos saw 6 pitches his first time up and got caught looking on the 6th pitch. This time he decided to go after the first one.
Samuel Cruz 0 for 1, flew out to center in the second, receiving some signs from his skipper over the third base area. Fastball to him is a strike. So we'll see if anything might be on here, or if the number 5 hitter is swinging away. One would suspect so. But it's 0-0, bottom of the fourth. Runner at first, 1 out. Modest lead at first, 0-1, low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Samuel Cruz now 1 for 6 in the tournament. His one hit, a double, also 2 RBIs for him. 1-1, swing and a miss. Pitch running inside, tied him up with the swing as he goes around for strike 2. Some inside run on that pitch. 0-0 in the fourth. 1-2. Ground ball that stays fair up the third baseline. Backhanded by Santiago Lopez. His throw to Baez at second. Good for the out there. Santos erased. 5-4. 2 outs. Fielder's choice with Cruz now aboard at first base. So Santiago Lopez busy at third base in this fourth inning. Joel Corre singled in the second. Today's starting pitcher for Puerto Rico. Has pretty much done it all. See if he can give himself some run support. 2 outs with a runner at first. Good lead now over at first base. Swing and a miss on a pitch way upstairs for strike 1, and Corre knows it as he frustratedly spins around in the batter's box. Why did I go after that one? From the stretch, Alvarez brings the 0-1, breaking ball low and outside.
Sometimes hitters go up there and they say, I'm gonna jump on that first pitch, hoping that first pitch will be a fastball. It was not for Corre. It was a curveball that it's above the bill of his cap.
Right foot at the circle, cut of the grass for the runner Cruz. Ground ball, foul this time, third base side. Now some batters will come up committed. I'm swinging at this first pitch, and no matter where it is, they'll take that cut. That's what happened for Corey there, who's now behind 1-2. Jose Alvarez of Mexico trying to keep it a scoreless game. 2 away, bottom of the 4th, with Cruz at first base for Puerto Rico. One-two pitch. Good block, pitch in the dirt, and runner forced to hurry back to first base on a pump fake by catcher Luis Liera. Good block there by Liera with the runner keeping him from advancing into scoring position. Nothing, 2-2 pitch, and that hits the batter. Caught him on the left arm, and now that'll move Cruz into scoring position. Runners at first and second with 2 away.
Number 15, Victor Rivera.
So with 2 strikes, pitch just got away from Alvarez, and you can see clipped that left elbow pad. Donned by Joel Corey. Victor Y. Rivera popped out to left in the second inning, but before he will bat, we have a pitching visit by the Mexican coaching staff as Eduardo Gomez out to tuck with his pitcher. Now, last night it was Pirates night at the ballpark. Pirate Parrot, Bucko Brigade, Joe Klimchek, all here as part of the festivities. Tonight we'll have some in-between game festivities. The Pony Princess will be named. Also the Ferrari Memorial Scholarship to be awarded. That'll be in between the 2 night games. As here, it's the first day game. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Scoreless in the bottom of the 4th. Pitch out of the zone for ball 1 to Victor Y. Rivera. Rivera, as we said, popped out to left in the second inning. Bats with 2 aboard. 1-0 pitch, and a liner hooking foul up the left field line. Now Rivera jumped that pitch, but pulls it foul. Samuel Cruz at second, Joel Corey at first with 2 away in the inning. Inning started with a leadoff single by Adrian Salas. The back-to-back batters bouncing into a fielder's choice. Hit batsman, 2 on. Now the 1-1 is high, 2-1. Arecibo, Puerto Rico trying to break the ice in a scoreless game, 2-1 high. And Alvarez in some trouble. He's been in command, has been in front of most batters today, but not here. Only 1 walk, did hit a batter just moments ago with Corey. Good hitters count for Rivera. 3-1. High again, ball 4. Bases are loaded for Puerto Rico. Biggest threat of the game for Arecibo. So a single, a hit batsman, now a walk has loaded them up for Derek Trinidad. He grounded back to the pitcher in the second inning. So now it's Mexico in need of a big out here by Jose Alvarez to try and work its way out of a bases loaded jam. Offering high, ball 1 to Trinidad. It was Joel Corey who had to pitch out of a 3rd inning bases loaded situation. Yielded no runs as we are still scoreless in the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 pitch. High again, 2-0 to Trinidad. Luis Liera in front of home plate a few steps, getting the ball back to Alvarez. Struggling to find the zone suddenly. Cruz at third, Corey at second, Rivera at first. From the stretch, the pitch. High, ball 3. And Alvarez visibly frustrated. Third baseman Santiago Lopez trying to calm down his pitcher. Shortstop Johan Lopez doing the same. Trust your defense. They've been good so far in this inning, in particular Santiago Lopez. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-0 pitch. High, ball 4. Bases loaded walk for Derek Trinidad, and Puerto Rico has taken the lead 1-0. Cruz scoring on the free pass to Trinidad for the game's first run. So with only 1 hit in the frame, which was a leadoff single, Arecibo, Puerto Rico has taken the lead, and a chance for much more. Yasiel Orocho, the number 9 hitter. Watches strike 1. Orocho popped out to short in the 3rd inning. Corey at 3rd, Rivera at 2nd, Trinidad at 1st. Pitch from Alvarez. 0-1 high, pump fake by the catcher Liera over toward 3rd base. As scooting back quickly was Corey. 1-0 Puerto Rico, bottom of the 4th. Bases still loaded for Arecibo. 1-1. Swing and a miss, and again a pump fake. Ball rolls out of the hands of Liera, but no one going to hazard moving. High fastball there that Orocho could not catch up with. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the batter Orocho. With the bases loaded, 2 outs. 1-0 Puerto Rico. 1 run in this frame. Fastball high, 2-2. That's been a great pitcher's duel so far. Although 1 run has crossed, Alvarez wants to keep this inning contained. 2-2 pitch. Orocho, fly ball, left center field. Rendon in and to his left makes the catch. The Mexican left fielder to end the inning. Puerto Rico 1 run on 1 hit. 2 walks, a hit batsman, and the bases left loaded. After 4, it's Puerto Rico 1 and Mexico 0.
Some have talked to just anyone about compromise. Talk to us. As your local independent agent, you look out for your interests. We're here for you.
So 2 for 44 and then second base to right. Is that correct? Back at the Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series, Puerto Rico 1, Mexico 0. Arecibo, Puerto Rico scoring the game's first run in the bottom of the 4th with a bases loaded walk by Derek Trinidad to bring home Samuel Cruz. That's been it so far as runs scoring. So both teams have pitched out of bases loaded situations, but Puerto Rico was able to come up with 1 run out of a bases loaded set in the 4th. Also some changes defensively. Some changes upcoming. Not quite yet. They will be coming for Mexico. Luis Gonzalez leads off for Mexico here at the top of the 5th. He reached on an error his first time. Hits a ground ball on the first pitch he sees here on the right side. Chaparro far to his left gets to it and then throws out Gonzalez. 4-3 on the putout, 1 away. Now Chaparro was pretty close to the second base bag. He had to go quite a ways to his left just to get to that grounder. Fortunately for him, it was weakly hit, and he's able to take care of the out. Now we've got a pinch hitter, Luis Gomez for Mexico, hitting for Ronnie Ramos. So Luis Gomez, first pitch swinging. He lines one into center field, base hit. He wastes little time after entering the game. So 1 out base runner for Mexico. Back to the top of the order with Johan Lopez. Now Mexico down by a run, but trying to quickly get even. That's the first hit of the game, by the way, for Mexico. That Gomez base hit, as Joel Corre had not yielded one up until that point. First pitch here, a ball to Lopez. He reached on a walk in the first and then a sac bunt and error in the 3rd. So no official plate appearances for him, but he has reached base twice. 1-0, swing and a miss. Third baseman Salas playing in on the infield grass. First baseman Santos holding the runner. Medium lead at first for Gomez. Pitch from Corre, bunt attempt by Lopez misses. The runner takes off for second. The throw airmailed by catcher Cruz. And safe at second is Luis Gomez. So Lopez missed on the bunt attempt. Gomez was running. It is a stolen base as he was running on the pitch. A little bit of a hesitation, but once he had committed as the throw went in behind him, but the throw was errant, or at least off target, no error charge. Again, it is a stolen base for Gomez as he was on the move. Runner in scoring position, a 1-2 pitch to Johan Lopez, fouls it off around the plate. Johan Lopez, the son of Jose Juan Lopez, known as El Canyon in Mexico, with 203 career saves, 3rd most in Mexican League history. And he's got a pretty good arm, does Johan. And now late time. Now time.
Time, my time.
All right, home plate umpire Joe Dodaro does grant Lopez time as Joel Corre was about to come to the plate. He's a little bit frustrated.
By the way, a hitter cannot force a walk.
Lopez readies for a 1-2 as we're back to play from the stretch. Corre, the pitch, ground ball to second. Gobbled up by Chaparro, throw to first. 2 away in the inning, but Gomez advancing to 3rd on that ground out.
Also in conjunction with that, you ever hear baseball announcers say that a hitter calls time? That's not true. A hitter, no player can call time. Only the umpire can. Hitter can request time. So the next time you hear a baseball announcer say a hitter called timeout, not true, can't happen.
Jose Alvarez 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the 3rd. Corner infielders edging up with 2 outs, a 1-0 lead for Puerto Rico. 2 away in the 5th. Foul ball behind home plate. Strike 1. We'll have some changes for Mexico when they take to the field. We've already seen one with Luis Gomez pinch hitting for Ronnie Ramos. Gomez promptly singled, stole second, now at 3rd with 2 outs. 0-1. Fly ball hit well right field. Orocho ranging back shy of the warning track, reaches out to make the catch, and the inning is over. Jose Alvarez gave it a ride, but it is the inning's final out. A base hit, 1 left on, no runs across. Score after 4.5, Puerto Rico 1, Mexico nothing.
There's a place far from the city, yet just down the road, where likes and shares mean more. It's in every bite, each performance, and every night, where the miles we ride together become the memories we share forever. We dream because they fought for it. We give because they worked for it. The American spirit lives here. I can feel it.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. 10 is at first base, so that is Omar Terrazzo.
Who's in left?
Luis Gonzalez. So 15, number 15 is in left. Puerto Rico on top 1-0 over Mexico. Bottom of the 5th we go. We have some changes for Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico, but more on that in a moment.
Hey, this guy here that just brought water out to the umpires, that is none other than Nicholas Popolarchuk, who 2 years ago won the John D. Wojtek Memorial Award. Every year since 1989, the family of John Wojtek has presented an award to the leading hitter on the Washington, Pennsylvania team. Always been great to see Nicholas Popolarchuk. We've had some good times together, and a real good high school baseball player.
So great to see him here back at Lou Hayes Pony Field. Obviously had quite a performance a couple of years ago here, winning the Wojtek Award. Santiago Lopez, check that. It's Joshua Chaparro to lead off at the bottom of the 5th. We'll give you those changes for Mexico momentarily. There's a strike to Chaparro, who's 0 for 2. Defensively, Luis Gomez, who pinch hit the last half inning, he's now at second base. Carlos Baez goes from second to right. Luis Gonzalez goes from first to left, and Omar Terrazzo, now your first baseman for Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico. Pitch outside for a ball by Alvarez, working to Chaparro. He grounded out in the first, flew out to right in the third. 1-1. Low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. One nothing Puerto Rico in the bottom of the 5th. 2-1. Ball popped up third base side. Santiago Lopez ranges over but runs out of room as it drifts out of play. Count evens at 2-2.
Yeah, put the new first baseman Terrazzo in the 7th spot of the Guasave batting order.
Two pitch. Fastball away. Genzel Figueroa and Adrian Salas also due up in this inning, as we have a bird's eye view here of the Dick's Sporting Goods Pony League World Series. Payoff pitch, popped up and out of play again. I'm Randy Gore along with Lanny Fratteri. Great to be with you on 1450 AM WJPA in Washington. Also video streaming on MLB.com and PonyLeagueWorldSeries.org. Number of ways you can find our broadcasts. Again, the payoff to Chaparro. Hit well to left field. Gonzalez on the run. It's over him and to the fence. Extra bases for Chaparro. A leadoff double for Puerto Rico in the bottom of the 5th. Good contact there by Chaparro, the first extra base hit of the day for Puerto Rico. Only the third hit of the game for Puerto Rico, and easily the most well-hit ball. And Gonzalez, who just moved from first to left, challenged. And that ball well struck over his glove, his reaching glove. Now it's Yenzel Figueroa. Figueroa, the number 2 hitter of the order. Mexico anticipating a bunt. Showing bunt, but pulling back, pitches a ball to Figueroa. Only run scoring in the 4th so far. That was a bases loaded walk for Derek Trinidad to bring home Samuel Cruz. A great opportunity now for Puerto Rico to add on to the lead. Alvarez from the stretch. 1-0 is taken for a strike. Again, Figueroa started with a bunt look but pulled back. First baseman Omar Terraza moving in down the first base line. Second baseman Gomez ready to cover first. Third baseman Lopez has to stay put there with the runner at second. 1-1. Bunt laid down on the third base side. It's fielded by Alvarez. He slips and falls. He has no throw. But the runner at second never broke for third. So he stays there. Figueroa reaching. 2 on, nobody out. Now Alvarez quickly ranging over, but he slipped on the play. The Mexico pitcher. And now we've got a coaching visit, a pitching visit here for Alvarez. In some trouble in this bottom of the 5th.
One of the toughest things to teach young people is base running. It is an instinctive talent. And that time, Chaparro outsmarted himself. He could see that the bunt was going to get laid down. It wasn't a forced play at third. Also, the pitcher was fielding the bunt, so with a right-handed pitcher fielding the bunt, what that meant was that pitcher Alvarez would have to make a 270 spin to get off the throw to third base. So Chaparro should have been able to get to third on that bunt, and we'll see how big a play that turns out to be.
Adrian Salas bats with 2 aboard. Base hit ruled for Figueroa as he's now at first. Double started the inning by Chaparro. Salas has reached twice today, and he lays down a bunt third base side. Lopez has to field it. He'll throw across. It's not in time, and the bases are loaded again for Puerto Rico, this time in the bottom of the 5th. Hustling play by Salas. First, you have to start with the good bunt up the third base side, and even with Lopez charging on it, the head first slide beats it out at first base. And now bases filled for Puerto Rico. Nobody out. Up next, Yoani El Santos. One nothing Puerto Rico. First pitch strike to Santos, who's 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Now, if we thought you saw some jams earlier in this game, those with 2 outs. This a bases loaded, no out situation. 0-1, hard ground ball through the left side of the infield for a base hit. Chaparro will score. Held at third is Figueroa. It's 2-0 Puerto Rico. RBI single for Santos. Ball sharply hit through the left side. Is Figueroa to third, Salas to second. Santos now aboard after the RBI base hit. Samuel Cruz, the next hitter due up, but we're going to have a pitching change here for Mexico as Jose Pardini on his way to the mound. Pitch count at 80 for Alvarez, but that's not the issue. It's more the bases loaded situation that has forced the hand of Pardini. So the right fielder Baez on his way in. It appears we'll have Baez take to the mound here shortly. Now this game 1 of the day, we've got 3 more to come. This one an elimination contest. We'll have another elimination affair slated for 12:30 approximately. Simi Valley, California against Brownsville, Texas. And then winner's bracket time tonight at 5:30, Chinese Taipei against Youngstown, Ohio. And at 8 o'clock, Bay County, Michigan against the host team, Washington County, Pennsylvania. Washington County has been impressive so far. As there's the top half of the bracket, Chinese Taipei, Youngstown, Ohio, 5:30 tonight. And Chinese Taipei, speaking of impressive, they've won 3 of the last 4 championships and opened the tournament with a 14-0 win in 5 innings against this team from Puerto Rico, which right now has a 2-0 advantage over Mexico. So warming up is Baez, as he'll take over on the mound for Jose Alvarez. Now, good start for Joel Corre is he and Jose Alvarez in a pitcher's duel to begin, but Alvarez yielding 1 run in the 4th, 1 so far in the 5th. He is responsible for all 3 on the bases. Who's in right? Who's in right? Right field? No. And the pitcher Alvarez going to right field, so pitcher's mound to right. First pitch behind the back of Samuel Cruz, but no movement from the base runners. It's ball 1. Cruz 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run in the 4th. So just a straight position switch. Alvarez to right, Baez now on the mound. 2-0 Puerto Rico, bases loaded, still nobody out, bottom of the 5th. 1-0 pitch. Slow ground ball, hit to third. Santiago Lopez has a little trouble getting it out of his glove, but the throw home is in time. A force out there, and Figueroa retired as the lead runner at the plate. 5-2, 1 out, bases loaded. Salas to third, Santos to second, and Cruz reaching on the fielder's choice. Now for Mexico, and trying to keep this game within reason, trailing 2-0, that is a huge out at the plate. Now middle infield, at double play depth, Joel Corre, who's reached twice, steps in. Curveball, narrowly misses, ball 1. Corre a chance to boost this Puerto Rican lead. 1-0. Line drive, that'll get into left field, base hit. Salas scores easily, Santos coming around. The throw from Gonzalez not in time but offline as Santos scores. It's 4-0 Puerto Rico, 2-run single for Joel Corre. Salas and Santos, and crossing the pay station, they belong to the starter Alvarez. Cruz to second on the base hit, 2-run single by Corre. But Corre has had himself a day. Great performance on the mound, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. He's reached all 3 times he's been to the plate. Puerto Rico on top, 4-0. Victor Y. Rivera, 0 for 1, reached on a walk in the 4th. Curveball is a strike. Pitch was dropped by Liera, but called a strike nonetheless. From the stretch, Baez double takes the runner at second. 0-1, popped out of play, as this will sail toward the Dick's Sporting Goods tent, one of which here at Lou Hayes Pony Field. And with this being just game 1 of the day, we certainly hope that you come out for the action all day and night long. Two aboard, one out. Pitch low and in toward the feet of the batter Rivera, ball one. Now Washington County, we noted the host team playing in the nightcap at 8 o'clock. Certainly should have a good crowd for that one. 1-2. Ground ball toward third. Two-hopper played by Santiago Lopez. Tags the runner. Throw to first is off target. Terraza will chase it down in foul territory. But the errant throw will allow Samuel Cruz to third. Or check that, Joel Corre, rather, to third base. Cruz was tagged out on the play for the hitting second out. Third base unassisted there, but the errant throw over to first base allows Joel Corre to third, and Rivera, of course, reaching on the play as well. Derek Trinidad now, left-handed hitter. 4-0 Puerto Rico. 2 outs, bottom of the fifth. Pitch is low, ball one. Trinidad produced the game's first run with a bases loaded walk in the fourth. 3 runs in so far in the bottom of the fifth. Runner from first breaks. Pitch is low. Throw will go into third behind the runner there. Corre returns safely. Rivera with the stolen base. Four runs on 7 hits, 3 errors for Puerto Rico. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error for Mexico. 2 in scoring position with 2 outs. Bottom of the fifth, 2-0 is low, ball 3. First base is open. If Baez loses Trinidad here, Yasiel Orocho would hit next. Victor Cepero Sr. working with his base runners. 3-0. Taking all the way, Trinidad watches a strike. Carlos Baez working in relief for Jose Alvarez, who pitched his way into a jam. 3 runs across in this frame. 3-1 pitch, tapped foul. That is a foul ball. As home plate umpire Joe Dodaro coming around in front to make sure it was a foul ball. As it kind of trickled to the right of Trinidad, and he had to get the right angle to make sure fair or foul. And just crossed into foul territory there. 3-2, ground ball on the right side. Handled by Gomez, throw to first, hitting over, but Puerto Rico 3 runs on 5 hits. And 2 left on. Your score after 5, it is Puerto Rico 4 and Mexico nothing.
DJ's a sharpshooter, but when he went down with a shoulder tear, he lost his aim. That's when Dr. Sam Akavan and the sports medicine team at AHN got it back for him, just like they did for Josh Bell. Thanks to the surgeons at AHN, they're both back in the game and back on target. Whatever your sport, whatever your level, getting back to what you love is living proof. Call 412-DOCTORS for an appointment with AHN, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Unfortunately, we've got some bad news. Agreement may concern due to budget shortfalls. The Panthers baseball program.
College softball. Vikings basketball.
Woodlawn soccer. The Tigers basketball program indefinitely suspended.
To whom it may concern. To whom it may concern. To whom it may concern. Every kid deserves a chance to play.
We were scoreless through 3, but Puerto Rico 1 run in the fourth, 3 in the fifth. And as we head to the 6th, Puerto Rico now with a 4-0 lead over Mexico. And to take us the rest of the way, here is Lanny Fratteri.
All right, Randy, thank you very much. The only base hit for Guasave, the single of the pinch hitter Gomez in the 5th inning. Now it's 3, 4, and 5 in the Guasave lineup. So this is where the team from Mexico needs to start attempting to put some offense together. Santiago Lopez 0 for 2. Joel Corey, the starting pitcher for Puerto Rico. 2 strikeouts in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. He has 8 total, but has not had one since the third. First pitch of the 6th, and a strike called on the outside corner. The winner of this game will play the loser of today's Chinese Taipei Youngstown game. 0-1 pitch, fouled away. The team that loses this game will be eliminated. 0-2 on Lopez.
2 strikes, play.
Guasave, in a little over 2.5 games, scoring only 3 runs on 8 hits. 0-2 pitch, foul ball. That forces Eduardo Gomez, first base coach, to hop, skip, and jump out of the way. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2 pitch. Bouncer to third. Salas coming in quickly. A strong throw to first base. 1 away. Pretty good heave there from Salas. 1 down in the 6th. I'm going to bring up Liera. One of the more significant points of the game. Guasave's top of the 3rd. As the team from Mexico loaded the bases with 1 out, and loaded the bases because the team from Puerto Rico had committed 3 errors. Pitch to Liera's inside, and Liera jumps out of the way of the pitch, ball 1. An E5, an E1, and E2, and the bases were loaded. And then Corey helped his teammates by striking out Lopez and striking out Liera, forcing Guasave to leave the bases loaded in the 3rd inning. Pitch up high, off the glove of the catcher Cruz and back to the netting. Counts 2 balls, no strikes. It is 4-0. Puerto Rico leads Mexico in the 6th inning. Wardrobe malfunction. So Carson Fox assists Joe Dodero.
2-0.
May have needed to adjust his microphone.
Play.
2-0 pitch. Called strike.
The microphone is working well still. Good job, Carson.
Lined up by Corey, the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Kind of a casual full windup delivery by Corey. He starts casually and then lifts the left leg and lets fire. 2-2 pitch. In on the hands, popped up. And the pitcher, Corey, will make the catch near the first base line, about 15 feet away from home plate. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Perez, who was 0 for 2. Well, Mexico is down to its final 4 outs. 4-0. Puerto Rico leads in the top of the 6th inning. Perez, the left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher Corey. Ball is fired back to the screen, well over the head of the, well over the glove of the outstretched glove of catcher Cruz.
From Highwood Sports.
Corey, he has struck out 8. He's walked 1. Ball 2. Interesting side note that Corey's not had a strikeout since he struck out Liara in the 3rd, and that was the strikeout that slammed the lid on the Guasave threat. Top of the 3rd inning. 2-ball pitch. Swing and a miss on a pitch in on the hands of the left-handed batter Perez. Corey's windup in the pitch is way outside. So it's now 3-1. Nobody on 2 outs. Puerto Rico looking to advance. Guasave trying to find some way to get back in this game. And the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Ball bounces away from the catcher. Perez takes first. And it'll bring up Carlos Baez. Baez 0 for 2. Runner at first, 2 outs. 4-0 Puerto Rico leads. And a foul ball up the 3rd baseline. Second game today. Simi Valley manager Ken Gill just came up to give Bob Gregg his starting lineup. Simi Valley's 12:30 game against Brownsville. Called strike. Rene Zayas up here in the press box presenting his batting order, his lineup to Bob Gregg. No balls, 2 strikes on Baez. Joel Corey from the stretch. Pitch low and outside. Good block by catcher Cruz. One ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch. Foul ball. Is that your alarm?
I don't think so. At least I hope not. It's not a foul ball to the windshield, at least. Knock on wood.
All right, here's the stretch. 1-2 pitch. And a pop foul ball out of play. Corey, when he comes and works from the stretch delivery, his set position is about shoulder high. Well, he's pitched to Dandy, a 1-hit shutout with 8 strikeouts. And his teammates have gotten him 4 runs. 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. Figueroa. Right knee, genuflex. Then the flip of the ball to Chaparro for the force out at second base that ends the inning. No runs, no hits. 1 left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is Arecibo, Puerto Rico 4 and Guasave, Mexico nothing.
What are we playing to this time?
How about a game of MVP?
415 to right field.
Right field with the Kirk Gibson trot. Seat 15.
That's an M.
Dodger dogs all day.
Woo! Extra kraut, please. Foul pull.
That looks like a V.
All tied up. Looks like I win MVP again.
Let's run it back.
ambition. We give you the tools and teach you so you can rise up and achieve. Don't settle for someone else's vision. Don't leave at Calgary. Visit us at calgary.edu.
Hey guys, you got other change? Whoa, get him back here.
That's Cervantes in center.
Bottom of the 6th inning coming up. Puerto Rico leads 4-0, a scoreless game until Puerto Rico picked one run up in the 4th inning. That was on a bases-loaded walk. And then in the 5th inning, base hit by Santos made it 2-0, single by Corey. And we were looking as Corey drove in 2 runs. And it was a 4-0 ball game. So Corey, in addition to pitching a great game, he also has 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Cervantes is the new center fielder, and Lopez in right. Got that right, Randy?
Yes, Alexis Lopez, the right fielder, and Edwin Cervantes now in center.
And the first pitch of the bottom of the 6th, foul ball. Leading off the bottom of the 6th inning, Yasiel Arocho against Baez, strike 1. Strike 2. Baez entered the game in the 5th. We're now in the 6th of a 7-inning ball game. Baez prefers to work from the stretch with no one on. 0-2 pitch is down low. After Arocho, we'll go to the top of the Arecibo menu. From the stretch, Baez, the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, caught the outside corner, strike 3. 1 down in the bottom of the 6th. And looking ahead to the Guasave 7th inning, a do-or-be-done 7th inning. It'll be the bottom 3rd of Mexico's batting order.
867-511-867. Please report to the press box.
Chaparro, foul ball. This right-handed hitting second baseman, 1 for 3 in the game. He doubled. He provided the catalytic hit in the 3-run 5th inning. Doubled and scored. Baez, 1 strike pitch. Pop back out of play. Now the winner is going to be playing either Chinese Taipei or Youngstown. Will play the loser of that game. So the team that wins here in this game will play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
You want to talk to Coach or no?
Heard home plate umpire Dodero asking the catcher Lira if he wanted to talk to Lira, rather, if he wanted to talk to the coach about something. All fouled away. 1 out here in the 6th. No question about the star of the game today. Joel Corey pitching the 1-hit shutout for Puerto Rico. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Baez gets back-to-back strikeouts. 2 outs in the Puerto Rican 6th. And it'll bring up Figueroa. Figueroa 1 for 3 in the game. 4-0. Arecibo, Puerto Rico leading 4-0 over Guasave, Mexico. There's a foul ball to the top of the building behind home plate. Scoreless till the fourth, and a 1-run fourth for Puerto Rico and 3 runs in the fifth. Strike called outside corner, 0-2. Jose Alvarez started for Guasave, 4+ innings, gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. Walked 3, struck out 2. 0-2 pitch, tapped to the right side. First baseman Terraza's got it, and he runs back to the bag after fielding the ground ball. 3 unassisted. Puerto Rico retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Last call for Mexico, and the score through 6. Puerto Rico 4, Mexico 0.
Unfortunately, we've gotten some bad news.
Corners of the world. Boys and girls each learning the true value that only teamwork, competition, and sportsmanship can provide. Each year, more than 500,000 participants of all ages proudly represent Pony on baseball and softball diamonds of all sizes. Everyone deserves a chance to learn and play the game. They're our players today. They'll be our leaders in the future. Pony, making a difference in your neighborhood and all over our world.
Thanks, Randy. Set for the 7th inning. Mexico down 4-0. If Mexico does not come up with at least 4 runs, it will be eliminated. The big story of the day, Joel Corre, the right-hander, struck out 2 in the first, struck out 3 in the second, struck out 3 batters in the third. Matter of fact, the strikeout, his 3rd strikeout of the 3rd inning, forced Mexico to leave the bases loaded. It was the strikeout of Liera. And only 1 hit for Guasave, Mexico, the pinch hit single by Gomez. Now, changes for Arecibo. Chaparro moves to 3rd. Chaparro is at second base. And Salas moves from 3rd to 1st. So it's Chaparro at 3rd, and it's Bill Chapo at the studio. And here on the top of the 7th, Terraza leads off for Guasave. Corey's thrown 81 pitches. Pitch inside ball 1. He needs to get it done with a little over a dozen pitches if he wants to pitch the complete game shutout. 95 is the max. Dribbler 3rd baseline, quickly off the mound and almost near to the line. Corey with a throw to 1st. And 1 away. Corey, the pitcher, had to go almost to the edge of the grass, parallel to the 3rd base line to make that play. Now Gonzalez 0 for 2. 83 pitches for Joel Corey. In addition to pitching a 1-out shutout, Corey has 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Fastball high, ball 1.
Winner in the 50-50, Mike Johnson of Washington. Mike Johnson of Washington wins the 50-50.
Gamez, who has the only hit for Mexico, is in the on-deck circle. 1-ball pitch, called strike. Later today, Chinese Taipei at 5:30. Chinese Taipei will play Youngstown. The loser of that game will play the winner of this game. 1-1 pitch, and it is down low. Team from Mexico, 2 outs away from a 60-hour return bus trip. Strike called 2-2. Only once has a team from Mexico won the Pony League World Series, 1972 Monterrey. And the 2-2 pitch, foul ball. 88 pitches for Corey. By the way, if he gets to 95 during an at-bat, he can complete that at-bat. Two-two pitch and a foul ball out of play. Hello, Juan. How are you? Juan Garcia, pitching coach for Brownsville, with pen in hand. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Going inside. 3-2 on Gonzalez. Well, Corey has walked 2. He was able to navigate what might have been a perfect storm, what with the 3 errors committed in the 3rd inning. But Corey picked himself up and his teammates up by getting those big strikeouts to leave the bases loaded. There's a foul ball out of play, and well, now Corey's really got a, he's at 91 pitches. Pitching a 1-hit shutout. From the full windup, rocks and deals. Strike 3 called, 2 outs. 9th strikeout, his first since the 3rd. And now Gamez, who has the only hit of the game, a pinch hit single in the 5th inning. 4-0, Puerto Rico leads in the top of the 7th inning. 92 pitches, the max 95, but he can complete the at-bat. Inside, ball 1. Four 4-0 Puerto Rican lead. Puerto Rico picked up a run in the 4th and 3 in the 5th. Ground ball to 3rd, or rather to short, up with it Figueroa, the throw to first, safe. How about that? Gamez has the 2 Guasave hits. Infield single, that bouncer towards the left side. Chaparro couldn't get over and far enough. Once it got by him, made it a real tough play for Figueroa. And now Lopez and pitcher Corey is at 94. One on, 2 outs, 4-0, top of the 7th. Puerto Rico has the lead. Pitch to Lopez, ground ball. Backhanded stop by first baseman Salas. He's got it, and on the 95th pitch, Joel Corey gets the final out. He has pitched a 1-hit shutout. Final score: Arecibo, Puerto Rico 4, Guasave, Mexico 0.
México!